Hello and welcome to this video where I will be trying Pastel-Chalk for the first time. I had these lying around and I wanted to try them for quite some time, and I decided the best time to try them would be after I had a mental breakdown and was crying in my room. But it turns out that I got my period later that day, so that explains a few things. I had a surprisingly easy time setting up the recording for this, considering I usually struggle a lot more with recording. And maybe that's because I went in without any expectations for this drawing. Like, usually I have something very specific in mind, and this time I just didn't. I tend to get caught up in pressure that I entirely 100% put on myself. So doing something spontaneous like this was actually kind of nice. Generally, when trying a new medium, I think there's a lot less pressure because you're not familiar with the new medium yet and you're just free to experiment with it. So maybe that's why it worked out in the end. Working with chalk for the first time was an interesting experience. I kind of didn't expect the chalk to be so dry, which doesn't make sense because it's chalk. But I guess my mind was more thinking of like crayons or something. They also didn't really blend the way I would have expected. I thought it would be a lot easier to move across the page. It would be a lot more loose, I thought. So it was a little bit less forgiving than what I expected. But either way was fine, because I just wanted to draw. And since I didn't have anything specific in mind, it wasn't a big issue anyways. Now, while I wasn't drawing anything specific, I kept thinking about the painting Starry Night by Van Gogh, because I painted it earlier in my sketchbook, so what I'm doing right now was very loosely inspired by that. And thinking about it, that was also interesting because I just drew that for the sake of drawing it because I thought it would be fun and would look cool. But I didn't intend for this to be a study or anything. But I feel like I learned a lot just by even just drawing it willy-nilly, not even taking it seriously. Like, I feel like I've taken something from that. And also the one other thing I was thinking about and wanted to incorporate in that somehow was the theme of hope, because I'm a sucker for that. Seriously though, songs or artworks about hope just hit differently somehow. It has been an incredibly important force to get me through some of the hardest times in my life. The way that I've incorporated it in this drawing is basically these colorful specks of light in the midst of darkness. Yeah, I really like the way it turned out. I think the next time I'd like to try to draw a portrait or maybe a still life. Something specific like I usually do. I am curious about how it would look like if I try to draw with intent and to go after something very specific. I wonder how I would work with chalks then. Maybe I'll do a video on that, who knows? So, to be completely honest with you, it's been a while since I started making this video, and I forgot most of the things that I wanted to say because I don't have a script or anything. So I have officially run out of things to talk about. I'm sorry. I guess I'll sign off and let you watch the rest of the video in peace. Yeah. Hope you enjoy. Bye!
If you know how this is,